Greetings, Earthlings! Welcome back to Moving Right Along, a Muppet movie podcast brought to you by toughpigs.com. Starting today on this episode, this is the podcast where we watch Muppets from Space 2 minutes at a time and talk about it a lot. I'm your host, Ryan Rowe.
I'm your other host, Anthony Strand, and I am 3!
That doesn't come until later in the movie. Yes, we are 3, both of us, and it's just the two of us this week to kick off this new season of the podcast, covering a new movie. Just the two of us, the K. Edgar Singer and Bobo Azarencho of the podcast.
I thought you said the goat.
So today we're going to talk about minutes 1 and 2 of Muppets from Space, in which the movie starts and Gonzo chases Noah's Ark. But first, we got some general overview stuff to get to. This is the 6th theatrical Muppet movie. It was released on July 14th, 1999 by Columbia Pictures and Jim Henson Pictures. It was directed by Tim Hill, and Anthony has some stuff to say about Tim Hill.
So, for years, for no reason, I have been obsessed with Tim Hill and Raja Gosnell, who is a very similar director. Raja Gosnell directed the first live-action Smurfs movie, Scooby-Doo, Beverly Hills Chihuahua, Home Alone 3. So that's Raja Gosnell, whatever.
Uh-huh.
But I've always said, I've done this bit, Raja Gosnell and Tim Hill, the titans of cinema, talk about them like they're Scorsese and Coppola or something, right? And so when this season was coming up, I decided to watch all of Tim Hill's movies, run the filmography from beginning to end.
Wow. Tim
Hill has directed 8 movies, and I watched them all. And here's the thing, Ryan. This is the best one.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. Pretty easily.
Out of 8, this is number 1 on your ranking of Tim Hill movies.
Yes, although the next 2 are both pretty good as well, which are Max Keeble's Big Move.
Okay, never seen it.
Which is kind of a charming middle school Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Okay.
Starring Home Alone 3's Alex Deland. And then Garfield, The Tale of Two Kitties, I think has a really weird, fun energy. Thanks in large part to Tim Curry as Prince, the British Garfield.
Oh, well, sure, yeah. But yeah, never seen that one either. Do you want to run through the rest of your Tim Hill ranking for us?
Yeah, so then those 3 are his first 3, and they are his best 3.
Interesting. This was his first feature, right?
This is his first feature. Much like Jim Henson with Great Muppet Caper, much like Frank Oz with Muppets Take Manhattan, and much like Brian Henson with Muppet Christmas Carol.
Wow.
This is his first solo directorial effort, just like all those guys. And much like James Bobin with the Muppets later.
That's true. Wow. That's
James Frawley is the only one.
That's crazy.
Not his debut, yeah. So then after that, it really is downhill. I would say 4th best is Grumpy Cat's Worst Christmas Ever.
Oh, boy.
Which is a TV movie starring Aubrey Plaza as the voice of Grumpy Cat.
Oh, I remember when that existed.
And which is...
I have not seen it, though.
It's kind of fun because Aubrey's having a good time. Yeah. It's basically just like her commenting on this very generic Lifetime movie as it happens.
Sure.
But okay, so that's the top half. Those are all fun. I would honestly recommend watching all of them.
Okay.
All right. Number 5 is we're shipping out. We got our orders. We have been drafted. It is The War with Grandpa. This is a movie where Robert De Niro plays a guy who moves in with his daughter Uma Thurman and takes over his son's bed. Yeah, Uma
Thurman is in that?
Uma's the mom. It's a Mad Dog and Glory reunion. And
wow.
Yeah. And the son, which is the kid from Pete's Dragon and Wonderstruck, Oaks Fegley, he is mad because the grandpa took his bedroom, so they do a prank war. And it's not good. I'm not gonna be like, you gotta run, don't walk to see The War with Grandpa. Uh-huh. But not only is De Niro the grandpa and Uma Thurman, De Niro's friend group in this picture is Cheech Marin, Christopher Walken. So it's a Deer Hunter reunion also. And then his new love interest is Jane Seymour. And all of those old pros are like they really go for it. There's like a scene where those
Ah.
guys have to have a dodgeball war with the kid and his friends.
Hmm.
And you know what? Like it's nice to see them having fun.
Sure. Are they all in it a lot, like a significant amount?
Yes, Walken especially. Like
Okay.
there are scenes of like De Niro and Walken just like hanging out at Walken's apartment.
Yeah. Stacy and I talk a lot about this being one of our favorite sort of subgenres of movie, which is like famous old people
Uh,
in
yeah.
kind of dramedies, which that they tend to get cast in things like that, like Let Them All Talk and Queen Bees and 80 for
Well,
Brady.
your book club.
Book Club for sure, yeah.
Last Vegas, I think, is another
Yes,
one.
yeah, definitely. So yeah, that's the one I might have to check out of all these
The
Tim Hill
bucket
movies.
list.
Yeah, yeah, that's an earlier example. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so watch War with Grandpa,
Okay.
but then the last three are not so good. It's SpongeBob Sponge on the Run,
Mm,
which is his second newest movie. That's right before War with Grandpa. And which is fine if you like SpongeBob. I just don't really,
okay.
It's the third SpongeBob movie. And then the worst two, and I don't know that I can choose between them because they're both dreadful, which is Alvin and the Chipmunks, the 2007 movie, the first
Ooh,
of that series,
yeah.
which is just not it's coming right off Garfield, the Tale of Two Kitties, which
Right.
I
So
just
he's the
said I
guy.
enjoy. Right. Which
Yeah.
I just said I enjoy. So, like, I went into Alvin and the Chipmunks with good faith.
With an open mind.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's not fun at all. He's not funny. Jason Lee as Dave seems embarrassed to be there.
Sure. Yes.
The jokes aren't fun. Like, it starts with the chipmunks in a tree singing Bad Day.
Okay. Yeah. Which tells
Um,
you what, like about
what
what
you're in
time
for.
period it came out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. 2007. And it's just, yeah, it's like I don't know. David Cross doesn't seem like he's having fun either, as their like other manager who steals them away. And then I guess I would put on the bottom Hop, which is the movie where Russell Brand plays the Easter Bunny's son who just wants to be a drummer, and James Marsden plays a ne'er do well who has no direction in life but ends up becoming the first human Easter Bunny. And here's the thing: you can't make a good story about the Easter Bunny because the
Right.
Easter Bunny is nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing there to work with. Like
Right,
Santa, yeah.
right. You say hey Ryan, where does Santa Claus live?
Yeah, the North Pole, everybody knows that.
Who are his coworkers?
He has elves, he has reindeer. Yeah.
What kind of environment do they do their work in?
It's a workshop at the North Pole where it's cold.
Yeah. How do
Yeah.
they what's the manner of delivering the holiday item? How do they
A
how do they
sleigh.
get
They ride
there?
a sleigh around the world on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
I'm
The
doing
Easter
great.
Bunny
I'm
the Easter
acing this test.
same questions about the Easter Bunny. Where does he live?
Um, maybe like a hole in the ground
Yeah,
or
see, you're like trying to think of an answer because there's a
yeah, trying to
you know,
make up an answer.
he has no coworkers. He has no associated
No.
characters. You know what? There's no mythology. So this movie tries to pretend that the Easter Bunny is Santa Claus, right? He has
Right, yeah.
like a factory
They were
workshop on.
hoping to create that mythology, I think.
Yeah, and it's on Easter Island, which is just
Ah,
happens to be a
well,
real place that exists, you know.
yeah, there you go.
Um but yeah, it's bad. I mean, even putting aside like Russell Brand being the lead, which is unpleasant
Yeah.
for other reasons.
Yeah.
Which will be a theme with this movie, frankly.
Yeah, this
Um,
I think it was our frequent guest Eric Adams who suggested to us that Muppets from Space is the Muppet movie with the greatest number of canceled cameo stars.
yeah, I think that's
So
right. So
we
we'll get into
will
that.
get to them as we
Uh,
go along.
but yeah, so anyways, that's the Tim Hill filmography. And here's the thing. Though I think the longest one of those movies is 100 minutes. Like they all went down
Sure,
pretty smooth.
sure, yeah. Okay,
You
well,
know?
thanks for watching all this, so we don't have to, but I gotta say, I'm tempted to put on The War with Grandpa.
Oh, it's where did I watch it? It's on Disney Plus, I think. It's
Okay.
streaming. It's like on one
Is
of the major streaming
is that a
services.
PG?
Yeah, every single one of those is a family film.
All right, I bet my nephews would like that.
Yeah,
That
you can
might
watch
be
War with
something
Grandpa
to.
with your nephews.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, sure. Okay. Maybe I'll give that a try. I'll report back if I do that.
I'm excited to hear what you think.
Yeah, so that's Tim Hill, everyone.
It sure is.
And the movie was written by Jerry Jewell and Joseph Mazarino. That's the word
Wow.
and rather than an ampersand, which means they worked on it separately. What was that?
Just wow. Just those two guys. Just that those
Yeah,
are the credited screenwriters on this movie.
yeah.
It
So
doesn't it does not feel like Jerry Jewell should have been involved in this film.
you mean because it doesn't feel like like it doesn't feel like other things he wrote?
Correct. It
Yeah.
it
I,
feels and I know not a lot of what we're seeing on screen is Jerry's work as I understand.
Um, so we've managed to get access to a few early drafts, most of which are uh, written just by Jerry Jewell, like only by Jerry Jewell. I would say the basic plot and the just like kind of the beats of the screenplay were all his for the most part, but it's more some of the jokes and individual details that got changed along the way.
Okay.
And it was shortly after this movie that he announced that he was walking away from the Muppets. So you have to wonder how much of that had to do with him being asked to make changes, or maybe even the scripts that we can read today are not what he would have read if he had more creative freedom. Who knows?
Right. And all, I mean, we should also like this is his last credit.
Yeah,
This is the last thing he was ever credited with writing in his lifetime. He died 6 years later,
right.
not too terribly long after this, and he never did any professional work, as far as we know,
I don't
in those
think
6 years.
so. Yeah, we always kind of hoped that he would write one more Muppet thing after this, but that did not happen.
Yeah.
And then, yes, Joey Mazzarino, of course, Muppet performer and writer who was a head writer on Sesame Street for several years. We talked about him recently, right? He was in the. Wait, am I getting this wrong? Was he in the Muppet Treasure Island sing along?
Was he? I don't think
Maybe I'm wrong about that.
so.
I thought we had talked about him relatively recently, but
We probably
perhaps
have talked
not.
about. I'm sure that you and I have talked about Joey Mazzarino
On this
recently,
podcast?
but yeah, that's where I'm not sure.
Okay, well,
Let's see.
he did a
Let's see.
ton of Muppet stuff from the 80s through the 2010s, I guess, and then mostly Sesame Street toward the end of that tenure.
Yeah.
And then he left his role as a head writer on Sesame Street to work on other stuff, including the Jim Carrey show, Kidding? Is that what that was called?
Is that what it was called? Kidding.
I
Yeah.
think so.
I, ne- I never saw the
Where,
show.
I mean Jerry, where Jim Carrey played the host of a kid show, which was a very unusual and cool TV show.
Sure. Joey Mazzarino did work on the Muppet Treasure Island sing along.
Ah, there
So,
we go.
so
That's
yes, we
why we
did
talked
talk
about
about
him
him on the
recently.
podcast.
Okay, good. I'm not
He's
losing
also
my mind.
he's also Game Show Gator on Don Quixote. So love that.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Well, yeah, he's continued to be a puppeteer, of course, too, as well as being a writer. And I also had in my notes, we might as well mention that this one did not do well at the box office. So I'm sure
Correct.
that'll come up later in the season as well. In a previous season, we concluded that Muppet Christmas Carol is probably the most talked about of all the Muppet movies. I am going to declare here at the top that Muppets from Space is probably the least talked about Muppet movie. Do you agree?
I think that's right. And I think that means we have a lot of we can stake our claim.
Oh yeah, okay. So we'll be making some definitive statements about this
Yeah.
movie.
Nobody else is
Great.
talking about it.
Yeah. So we're going to be asking our guests for their history with this movie, but now I want to ask you, Anthony, what's your history with this movie?
So I was 14 when this one came out. And I had just recently become a real Muppet fiend. Like I read Jim Henson The Works when I was in probably seventh grade.
That'll do it.
And that's when and that'll do it. That's
Yeah.
when I really became like once I learned the names Dave Goles, Jerry Nelson, Richard Hunt, then I was
Yeah.
now I'm Mr. Muppet fan. Uh, but I didn't see this in the theater
Mm.
because I broke my leg on June 29th.
Ooh.
And it was quite a bad break. I mean, I was like laid up at home for the rest of the summer, you know?
In the
And
summer, what an inconvenient time.
yeah, what was fun about it was that I could make my brothers do things for
Sure, yeah.
me. But I didn't get to see Muppets from Space. I mean, first of all, it was in theaters for what, 2 weeks? Like there, it's not like
Yeah.
I had all summer to go see it anyway.
Yeah, I came and went.
But I didn't get to, so I never saw it until that fall. I didn't have HBO, but my friend Bryce did, and he taped it off HBO for me.
Oh, okay.
And so I had that taped off TV, like just a home VHS, until the DVD, until I got the DVD several years later.
Hmm.
That was my only copy. I didn't even pay money to own the movie.
Yeah.
But I watched it a lot. My friend Jason and I, who I've mentioned, was kind of like my Muppet fan pal in high school.
Okay.
We watched it over and over in like freshman, sophomore years of high school. And we thought it was great and we quoted it all the time.
Yeah. There
And
are
I
a few
think,
memorable quotes. Yeah, that it does have that going for it.
yeah, but I think that's part of why I still feel fondly towards it is it was the exciting new Muppet thing when I first became like a real Muppet geek who,
Yeah.
like, I mean, I knew the name Jerry Jewell when this one came out, and I sure didn't when Treasure Island came out, right?
Right, right. Yeah.
So I think that's part of why I generally think fondly of it.
Yeah, that all makes sense.
How about you?
I was living in a town that had a six screen movie theater when this came out, and it generally would get every movie released by a major studio, but guess what? It never got Muppets from Space.
Oh
So
no.
I had to go to the nearest big city, which was San Antonio. And I saw this with my mom, and we were the only two people in the auditorium, which
Wow.
I have a feeling is going to be I have a feeling other people are going to have similar experiences when we ask them. And I just, this was the first time I was ever disappointed by a Muppet thing. I saw the
Ever.
movie. I think so. I was looking
Yeah,
forward to it, and I just came out of it going, oh, like why couldn't the Muppets make a better movie than that?
sure.
So,
Yeah. And so we should clarify, you had just graduated. You're 18.
just graduated high school, yes.
Yeah. And so I think like really I do think the difference between 14 and 18 is huge.
Probably.
Like I had just finished 8th grade
Yeah.
and you had just like you're just about to go off to college. And the Muppets,
That's
your old pals, are
true.
back on screen,
But
you know?
I was very enthusiastic about Muppet Treasure Island and Muppets Tonight. I was
Right.
I was
Sure.
all about both of those uh, you
Right.
know,
Yeah.
productions.
Your freshman year. That's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, okay, I see what you're saying, that I was younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also I
Yeah.
just mean like I think I have to imagine that you were like excited for the Muppets to be back
Yes.
as a young man on the cusp of adulthood. It was gonna
Yes.
let you like it had to have felt more important. That I don't know, maybe not. Maybe that's silly, but
You
I
mean
think
it,
you want the Muppets to still be great,
right?
even though it's time for you to put away childish things, you know? And it wasn't. And it's not great. I'm not gonna spend this whole season being like, actually, Tim Hill is a master and this is a masterpiece. Like that's not my intention. Um, but I think this movie is better if you expect less of it.
I'm amused that you know me as well as you do, and you think there was ever a time in my life when I put away childish things.
No, I
But
no, I don't really. I don't really.
yeah, no, but I am. So yes, this is at the bottom of my Muppet movie ranking, but I'm going into this, trying just to keep a level head, and maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised.
Sure. And I should clarify, this is number 7 on my Muppet movie rankings.
Okay,
Like it's above Treasure Island. I mean, I think
above
the
Treasure
audience knows
Island,
by
right?
now
Yeah,
how I
okay.
feel about Treasure Island. But
Yeah.
but it's not above anything else. It's not like I'm out here, you know, kicking Muppets Take Manhattan to put Muppets from Space above it or whatever.
Right.
Like
Sure. And there might be people out there who do, and that's fine. Everybody has their favorites,
mhm.
and every movie is somebody's favorite. Um, but I do like that they got back to the Muppets as themselves after the two literary adaptations. I
Yeah,
know
for sure.
there are people out there who think that they should be doing literary adaptations all the time. I do not agree with that. So it was just nice to get them like, oh, Kermit is Kermit and Fozzie is Fozzie and Piggy is Piggy and Gonzo is Gonzo again. And then of course it's a sci-fi movie, not surprising in 1999 because sci-fi was very hot in the 90s. You had Independence Day and Men in Black, and they knew there's an interview somewhere I saw with Brian Henson when they were promoting this movie where he said they knew that this was going to be the year of Star Wars because
Hmm.
the Phantom Menace was coming out. So they thought, like, oh yeah, we'll do a sci-fi movie too.
Yeah, with Frank Oz in it. He's in the Phantom
Yes,
Menace.
yes,
You
that's
know,
true. Yeah. Um, Man, I was just thinking about this earlier today. That puppet version of Yoda from the original cut of the Phantom Menace looks so weird. What were they thinking?
it
They were
doesn't look
trying
good.
they were trying to make him look younger, I guess, but Yoda 30 years younger shouldn't look that different from the Yoda we know.
Right. If he's 900 in Return of the Jedi,
Yeah, if he's 870, he's not going to look that much different.
right?
Anyway,
It almost feels like they were trying to sabotage the puppet. I
so
don't
that
know.
they
I'm
could
sure that's not so they could
justify
replace it digitally. Yeah,
digitally, yeah, as soon as they were able to. Yeah, I kind of think, yeah, there might
yeah.
be something to that.
And I haven't watched those like Miles kind of wants to watch those prequels now, and I haven't seen them in years.
Yeah,
So I guess I'll watch them with Miles, see how he likes them.
sure, yeah. He's the right age to really appreciate the Phantom Menace, I would think.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
right.
Uh, there were a few other ideas that they considered before landing on this movie. Uh, in an interview with the website Looper in 2020, Tim Hill said it was tough because there were two scripts. They hadn't decided which one they wanted to do. One was Pigs in Space, and the other was Muppets from Space. They were both funny. It was just they couldn't quite make up their mind. They were asking, should we do the Gonzo story? Where do they come from? Or should we do a pure space parody, Goofy Pigs in Space movie? What they went with, I think they made the right choice. So,
Well, I think it would have been tough to do a Pigs in Space movie with
yeah,
Frank Oz's limited involvement,
right.
and Link had not been recast.
True. Yeah.
Really, I mean, maybe but I don't think he'd even had like video game appearances yet, right?
No, not at this point.
So maybe that would have been ended up being Steve, like it was for a while.
Maybe that would have been the moment
But
that they recast him. Yeah.
yeah, but people love Pigs in Space, or the idea, the iconography of Pigs in Space, at least.
Yes.
But like 2/3 of the Swine Trek crew were essentially not around,
Right.
and the third one is Doctor Strangepork.
True. Yes.
Like
Yeah, and I don't think we've really ever heard or seen much about if they actually had a full screenplay written for a Pigs in Space movie, but um, yeah, I don't know what that would be like. There was another script called Muppets in Space, which was
right.
written by Kirk Thatcher, with later rewrites by Rick Kopp and David A. Goodman. You want to hear a little bit about that one?
I would love to.
So that one takes place in the future where the US has space colonies and we're interacting with other planets and civilizations. There's a reference at some point which suggests that these might be the descendants of the original Muppets. Like the Fozzie
Huh.
character says something about how his grandfather used to work on a variety show or something like that. Um, but in the story, the Muppets work in a spaceship factory, maintaining spaceships under the supervision of a boss who is described as a Jim Carrey type. And they are also reporting, the agency is reporting to the Secretary of Defense, who's described as a Robert Loggia type.
So I think they might have got Loja, although maybe they would have got Pat Hingle, right? Who's in this movie.
Yeah.
But the Jim Carrey type, I mean, who do we think that would have actually ended up being in 1999? Because I'm thinking
Uh,
like Chris Kattan, maybe.
in 99, yeah, probably.
you know.
Right. Yeah. It'd be fun to see Robert Loggia. in a Muppet movie, though.
It would. Yeah, he'd be great.
Kermit gets tired of the job and decides to join the Space Corps along with Rizzo, Gonzo, Fozzie, and Piggy. They go through training, and Piggy does better than everybody else. She's assigned to the flagship of the space fleet, and the other Muppets are assigned to a different mission. They are working at a car wash on an asteroid. And then there's this exciting scene where Piggy saves the flagship, and she gets a promotion to helmsman of the ship. And also on the flagship, the science officer. Actually, guess who the science officer is in the script?
It's not Leonard Nimoy.
No, it's a Muppet, but not who you might think.
Oh, it's a Muppet,
Yeah,
and it's not one you've previously named.
correct.
Lucy,
No, that would be funny.
who is it?
It's Sam
Am I
the Eagle.
Oh, okay. Huh.
Yeah, with
Yeah,
pointy
all right.
ears.
So so it is a Spock riff.
Yeah, it's a Spot
So
character.
it's Sam the Eagle being like, "Is it possible that we two, you and I, have grown so old and inflexible?"
Something
Got
like
it.
that.
Awesome.
And then Janice and Clifford are also on the crew. Kermit, Fozzie, Gonzo, and Rizzo wander into a spaceship and accidentally blast off. They end up imprisoned on the planet Snardia, where the Snardians eventually come to believe Kermit is their long lost savior, the Great Shazoo.
Just like in Five O Goes West, that happened to Tiger.
Not with a spaceship.
No, but in the Old West with the
What
natives.
happens? I haven't seen that in a very long time.
Oh, the like native mice think Tiger is a god.
Oh, okay. One of those.
That's what.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what movies were like back then. It was just like a thing to do in children's movies.
Yeah, it kind of was. Um, the Snardians agreed to give them a ride back to Earth, but then it turns out that the Snardians are planning to destroy the Earth when they get there. So Fozzie has to distract them by telling jokes, while Gonzo and Rizzo disable their weapons, and Kermit gets a message to Piggy, who prevents the U.S. Space Corps from firing on the ship and killing them all. While Kermit also persuades the Snardians that the planet Earth is worth saving. And there's also a robot Bunsen and Beaker in there somewhere. And additional cameos are suggested in the script for Mel Gibson, David Spade, Patrick Stewart, and Jonathan Frakes. Yep.
Okay, David Spade.
Yeah, David Spade is like, I want to say he's like a snarky crew member, maybe. I don't remember.
And it would just be essentially just Picard and Riker. Like that's the joke is they run into the Enterprise.
They're not playing their Star Trek characters, but I think just I mean, yeah, just the recognition of, oh, these are Star Trek guys playing these
Yeah,
space characters. Yeah.
right.
So yeah, that's
I
the
think
movie they
I
didn't
you
make.
know you know what? I think they would have done it. I really do.
They would have agreed to be in it.
I think so. I
Yeah,
mean,
I think
Patrick Stewart was
probably.
on Sesame Street.
Yeah, sure.
Frakes likes to goof around,
Yeah, why wouldn't he have done that? I just
But
think, yeah, presumably that screenplay would have been a very expensive to actually produce with all these scenes taking place on other planets with spaceships and aliens everywhere.
yeah, and
Um,
my gut reaction is to think that that would be better, but who knows? It's
oh, that
it
the more far-flung space movie would be better than this.
would have been better than the movie we got. But it's also very easy to think anything you don't have, like anything that you
Exactly.
can actually see, you can
Yeah.
imagine what the best version of it would
Yeah.
be.
Oh, the
You
thing that
know,
didn't happen. Yeah, yeah.
right?
So we're about to get to the minutes finally, but I do have one more thing, which
Yes,
is
sir.
that in 1999, I was a loyal subscriber to Entertainment Weekly, and I have a vague memory of their 1999 summer movie preview issue, which had an entry for this movie. I remember Brian Henson saying something like, "We've tried to make this a more modern Muppet movie, and this one, Kermit and Piggy are living together." Something like that. And then a couple issues later, they published a clarification from Brian Henson where he basically said, all the Muppets are living together in the same house. Kermit and Piggy are not cohabitating outside of marriage. Don't worry. So I always wondered if some angry parents had written in after reading his initial quote. So I
Well,
looked
it's
around the
funny because that
internet.
almost That almost sounds like an early version of the controversy over the 2015 sitcom.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much about them having adult lives. I looked
Yeah.
in a few different places online trying to track this down, but I don't think I was not able to find like a scan of the 1999 Entertainment Weekly summer movie preview online. But
Yeah.
if anybody
Some
out there knows what I'm talking about or has it or can find it, I would love to read both of those issues.
Yeah. Seems like something that you could at times find archived on the internet.
At
At time,
times.
at times it's something that might pop up there, eventually.
Maybe, yeah, well,
Before,
yeah, and I did start by looking at EW.com, but yeah, they don't have stuff like that going back that far,
yeah, I'd love to read
unfortunately.
that. I would love to read that whole thing.
Yeah. See, I shouldn't have recycled all my old Entertainment Weeklies. I should have
You
kept every single
should
issue.
have them all in your apartment or in your house right now, stacked
Yeah.
up. Every
Yeah.
issue of Entertainment Weekly.
52 issues over however many years. I should have just kept them all.
Oh, yep.
Okay. So, anything else before we get into these 2 minutes?
No, I think everything else I have we can is in the minutes.
Okay. So, we are talking about minutes 1 and 2 of Muppets from Space. At the beginning of these minutes, we see a studio logo, but it's not Walt Disney Pictures like the last two times. This is Columbia Pictures, a Sony Pictures Entertainment company. And of course, this is the Columbia Torch Lady logo, which has been their logo for forever. And this particular version of the logo debuted in 1992. Some movie nerds will recall the rumor that circulated for a long time that Annette Bening was the model of the face of this version of the Torch
Oh,
Lady. Did you ever hear that?
interesting. I had never heard that. No,
But it's
but
not true. At least by the time of a Roger Ebert movie Answer Man column in 2012, the model for the painting had been identified as Jenny Joseph, who modeled for the artist Michael Diaz, who painted it. So that would have been a cool story if it had been Annette Bening, but it's not.
mhm.
The next thing we see is the Jim Henson Pictures logo with Kermit sitting behind a camera on a crane. Anthony just perked up at that.
I'm so excited. I I remember seeing this movie for the first time.
Yeah.
The Jim Henson Pictures logo, which was new to me,
Yes.
and only I think appears in 5 movies ever. Is that right? 7 movies ever.
Well, according to Muppet Wiki, only three theatrically released that
Oh,
originally had it. I think it was later tacked on to a few of them for home video releases.
okay. So it's this Elmo and Grouchland and Good Boy. Are those the three?
No, earlier.
Oh, Buddy,
Buddy.
of course. The Rene
Yes.
Russo
Rene
gorilla
Russo befriends a
movie.
gorilla.
Yeah,
Yes.
Danny's favorite. Um, so it's Buddy, this, and Elmo and Grouchland.
Yeah, those are the
So it
three.
was. So it wasn't on Good Boy even. Wow.
I don't think,
Because
well, okay, let me see. Muppet Wiki also mentioned Jim Henson Pictures receives a credit on Rat, Good Boy, Five Children and It, and Mirror Mask.
and Mirror
So
Mask, yeah,
I assume that means it doesn't have the Kermit logo, but it just says Jim Henson Pictures presents.
right, for sure. But I remember this feeling like, that Jim Henson Pictures was going to be some big deal now because it had this big
Yes,
logo.
right.
With Kermit, and there's as you mentioned, like Kermit's on the crane, and
Yeah,
then it falls, and we hear Animal yell. So it's like a little joke.
yeah.
Um,
Our
you
friends are
know,
making movies.
yeah. And then it was nothing,
It was nothing.
and the name reverted back to the Jim Henson Company, which
It,
like certainly is a less lofty, like Jim Henson Pictures, like it's the Dream Factory,
well, yeah, I mean,
Hollywood,
it,
right?
it
And
was it was an extension or a division of the Jim Henson Company,
right,
much like Jim Henson Records, which listeners can check out our previous episode with Jim Henson Records head Robert Kraft, which is an excellent episode of this podcast. But
yeah, one of my
um,
favorites.
yeah, and similar to that, this didn't really work out. So
Right,
yeah, it's
that's
just
I
the
mean, it's
three.
a sadly a theme of the post Jim era,
Yeah, that's
you
true.
know.
But yeah, I don't know if I've told this on the podcast. My church youth group went to see Buddy in the theater. And
Great,
when
you'll
the
love it. You'll
logo,
love to see it.
yeah, when the logo appeared, everybody turned to look at me like, Ryan, it's Kermit, it's your guy,
And what did
And
you do?
then,
Did you hoot and holler?
I mean, I was just kind of like, ah, yeah, like, I don't know, waving at them or something. And then,
You flailed your arms. Yeah.
oh, I should have. I wish I had had the presence of mind to do that.
Yeah.
Um, maybe I pointed at the screen like Leonardo DiCaprio in the meme.
Yeah.
But then the movie, I think, was pretty bad. So that was not
Yeah, I've
great.
I've actually never seen it. I
Like,
know I read Danny's
yeah.
review of Buddy so many times.
So then it was more like, Ryan, why did your Jim Henson Pictures make a bad movie?
Yeah.
So, but no, I haven't seen it since then, so I should check that one out again too, maybe.
Yeah,
Um,
let's watch Buddy. We should watch Buddy 2 minutes at a time.
yeah, let's do that. So next we are flying through space. I guess we're flying through stars. It looks like something is passing by us very quickly. Unless it's maybe we're in an asteroid belt or a star field.
Well, you know what it looks a lot like
What?
from later this same year? The opening of Toy Story 2,
Oh,
which
what's the first thing we see in that?
it's the star field and then it's like flying because it's Buzz's video game. You know,
Oh
we
yeah.
opened with Buzz on a planet in his video game. So it like starts with flying through the stars and then Toy Story 2 or through the sky and it looks like asteroids.
Hmm.
And then Toy Story 2 appears.
Yeah.
Because the first one starts in the Old West,
Yeah. Toy
So
Story 2
they so
stole this from Muppets from Space.
yeah, it came out whatever 4 months later.
Yeah,
And we all know
definitely.
that we all know that you can finish a CGI movie in 4 months in 1999 and it's
Sure. In
and
19,
that
yeah,
quality.
exactly. Of course.
Yeah.
There's a DVD commentary on the DVD of this movie, which is it starts out with Kermit and Tim Hill. And as soon as this stuff shows up on the screen, Kermit says that it reminds him of popcorn. And then
And then he goes to get popcorn.
yeah, he runs out of the room to go get popcorn and he doesn't come back until the very end of the movie because Rizzo then proceeds to join Tim Hill and Gonzo for the rest of the commentary. And Kermit and Rizzo were both performed by Steve Whitmire.
And we should note that it is a visual commentary. We
Oh,
see the
yeah.
we see the Muppets on screen because or like their silhouettes. Because if it wasn't, Kermit and Rizzo could be in the room and Steve could just switch. But it's not. It's visual, so he can't. If it was
Yeah,
audio only, he could switch. It'd be fine.
right. And this is still the early-ish days of DVD when everybody was trying to come up with as many novel gimmicks as they could. So yeah, seeing
Yeah.
the silhouettes of Tim Hill and Gonzo and Rizzo was very exciting at the time.
Love to see that silhouette of Tim Hill.
Yeah, love it.
So exciting.
Next, we are flying through space as the words, did I say this already? Jim Henson Pictures present, appear, and then explode. And then a massive 3D title fills the screen Muppets from Space.
It's very strange that there's an explosion behind it, I think.
Yes,
Because that has
yes.
nothing to do with space, really. Like it's
No, not a lot of explosions like that in space, I guess. I don't know. I'm no expert. I'm no Carl Sagan. Now we're flying even faster, maybe through a wormhole, and we approach the planet Earth.
it looks kind of like the time vortex in the opening credits of Doctor Who during
It
some
does,
iterations
yes,
of Doctor Who.
that might be intentional.
Yeah.
And we see that on the surface of Earth, there is a huge storm brewing, and we fly right into the eye of the storm. All of this actually looks pretty cool. This was also a time when movies couldn't get enough of, look what we can do with computer animation.
Right.
But I mean, this makes it seem like you're about to see something exciting.
Yeah, the storm looks great, I think.
Yeah,
Like it really it's like why is that happening? Why is there a storm? Because
right.
we all know what Earth looks like.
We all know what Earth looks like. Yes, it doesn't usually have a gigantic storm on it.
Right.
And there's thunder and lightning and dark clouds and a desolate landscape. It's not the Dark Crystal, though, because as we see two birds fly down from the top of the frame, we realize that we're looking at Noah's Ark.
Yes, it is neither a what is it? A different time, an age of wonder. It's neither of those things.
Another time, another place, the Age of Wonder, something like
Yeah,
that.
it's not any of that.
Right, none of that. So
So
then we
yeah,
see
Noah's Ark
Noah's Ark. You have any thoughts on
from
Noah's
the
Ark?
Bible.
From the Bible,
Of
yes.
Bible
From
fame.
from yes, the story where Noah builds the ark, and he puts two of every animal in the ark.
Yes, a
And
popular
there's
favorite of children among Bible
yes,
stories because it's all about animals. Uh,
yeah.
so I mentioned Toy Story 2. This reminds me of another Disney picture that came out shortly after. Fantasia 2000 came out in December of 1999
Oh,
and has a pomp and circumstance number where Donald Duck has to gather all the animals for Noah's Ark.
oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's great. It's really fun. So that's another like family movie from right after this that like uses the
Right.
same motif. I don't know what was in
Huh.
the. I guess
There was
everyone
just,
was feeling apocalyptic because of like Y2K or
I
whatever.
think
So
because of the year 2000, yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I think that has something to do with it. But then we see the first Muppet to appear on screen in the movie proper, after Kermit and the logo, of course.
is it an ink spot? The last two times it was an ink
It
spot.
is not an ink spot, it's Gonzo.
Gonzo
Yeah, you know that guy
from the car wash.
from the car wash on the Muppet Show.
Yeah, yes.
He
Glendon
did sing
Jackson
Car
episode.
Wash. No, what is
He
it? Car
did.
Wash Blues. Working at the Car Wash
Working at the
Blues.
car wash blues. Yeah, you
Yeah.
know.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's that's the chap. He's running toward the ark and yelling for it to wait for him. And then we cut closer and we see Noah himself herding Muppet animals inside. We will talk more about the actor playing Noah next week, I believe is our plan.
I think so. I think we're.
Uh,
I think we've covered enough this time.
yes, I
Like,
think a lot of these animals must have been from the animal show.
yeah,
And in
for
fact,
sure.
one of them, at least, I did not write down his name, but one of them is named on Muppet Wiki as being an animal who originated on the animal show.
Is that right?
And but I noticed they don't seem to be in pairs. They don't seem to be matched pairs of species. He's
Yeah,
just kind of
they
hurting
weren't
one
gonna
after the other.
they weren't gonna build doubles for this dream sequence.
Yeah, I guess not.
You know.
So Gonzo runs up the gangplank and says, "I barely made it. For a minute there, I thought you were going to leave without." And that is where the clip ends, but that's also right before the clip ends. That's where Noah holds up his staff and blocks Gonzo from entering the ark. So what's going on here? We'll have to wait until next week to find out.
We'll be back with another episode next week because it's happening.
It is
We're doing a whole
happening.
season this
And
time.
and in the meantime, listeners can check various translations of the Bible to see if they can find one that has Gonzo in it. So any other thoughts on these 2 minutes?
No, we certainly covered all my notes.
Very good. And we do not have a guest, so I don't need to thank anybody for joining us. Good. But thank you, Anthony. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for joining me, Ryan. I wasn't sure you were going to
Well,
show up this season, so
you might have just been talking to an empty Zoom window.
would have just been me ranking Tim Hill's filmography by myself.
That's it. That's what people want to hear.
Uh-huh.
So we want to, as always, thank Morgan Davy for our show's logo. And this season we have a new theme song appropriate to the sci-fi theme of the movie by Jordan Brandon. Thank you, Jordan. And listeners, you can find Tough Pigs on the internet at toughpigs.com. We're all over social media as well as TeePublic. You can chat with other Muppet nerds on the Tough Pigs Discord server. Anthony is on Blue Sky at Durwood Clapper. I'm on Blue Sky at Me Ryan Rowe. Anthony is on Letterboxd at Zeppo Marxist. I'm on Letterboxd at Movies Are Neat. So seek out all of that and make sure you tell all your friends to listen to this podcast. You know that one friend you have who loves this movie? This is the perfect time to jump on board this podcast. So let them know. And join us again next week for another episode of Moving Right Along. Goodbye, Earth people.
Ryan, we didn't talk about the jam jars.
Oh no.